Happy Friday morning, guys. We are back in the lab. Oh, I am so excited. It's Female Fridays, my favorite day of the week. I feel like I sound a little stuffy over here. I got a little cold going on. Listen, shout out to everybody on my live this morning. Thank y'all for the comments on the hair. Shout out to Complex here. You know, I gotta keep that hair laid and slayed to the gods, baby. So shout out to my girl Tiff for holding me down. Listen, we got a lot of conversations to cover. I have some amazing females coming in this morning, and I cannot wait to share all this information, all this juice with you guys. So you guys get ready for a show you will not forget. Of course, it is Female Fridays. So 678-439-7419. I want you to call and shout out your favorite female. My phone lines will be open until 12:30. So I am super excited. So I have two amazing women on the show this morning, and I gotta talk about our event that I went to last night with our girl Big Skittles. We was out. Gonna get a round of applause for the Lollapalooza out there at the Big Bank last night. I was in the hood, y'all. I was with the gangsters and the drug dealers. I was looking around like, oh my God, so much money in the room and bad credit. It smells like bad credit and weed. Listen, it was all mood yesterday. They had an awesome panel. Dallas Austin, as I said earlier, Swamp Izzo, Drummer Boy. Some of the greats were in the room. They honored Pastor Troy, Day Day. Now, you know, Day Day performed last night. He had a really, really good performance, and they gave him an award for being one of the staples in Atlanta music. And I thought that he really, really deserved that. So, shout out to Day Day for winning the first actual award, and shout out to DJ Holiday as well. It was really nice meeting you. Shout out to the whole Asian and crew. Skittles had me out on the street last night, y'all. So, shout out to Flavor with Skittles. Gotta give you love on that. And everyone else. So I'm super excited about the show today. Thank you guys for tuning in to my live. Of course, my phone lines are open. So I'm going to need y'all to call and talk to me today. So call and shout out your favorite female. I don't care if it's your mama, your side piece, your wife, or your wife's friend. Y'all know this Atlanta, or you already know what I'm trying to say there. So listen, we'll be back in just a minute with my first guest. So make sure y'all stay locked and loaded. Make sure you have the app. And make sure you're ready for a really great show. And don't forget, those phone lines are open. It's Female Fridays. Call and shout out your favorite females on 101 TKO Radio. Knock them out the box. We'll be back in just a minute, folks. Friday, y'all. Why are we always so happy about Friday? You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't we be that happy about Sunday? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, Lord, too early. Listen, we are back in this space. I promise you guys an extra special guest on my Female Fridays. So put your hands together for none other than Sherry B in the atmosphere.
Yes, thanks for
How you
having
doing? Shout out to Instagram for the connection, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big love. So listen, with all of our guests, I always play a little game. So the way the game works is you have to answer the questions within 3 to 5 seconds. And you have to answer as honestly as you can. It don't matter what the answer is.
Okay.
I don't care what it is. I mean, first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You're nervous?
Here we go. Here we go.
First question. Who is your all-time celebrity crush?
Idris Elba.
Okay, Idris. Make sure my mic's on. Idris. Okay, everybody loves some Idris. Okay, we'll take Idris. All right, second question. If you could have chosen any other career other than what you do now, what would it be and why?
Motivational speaking, because I want to travel the world.
Okay. Is there mic up? All right, motivational. And third question is, you ready?
Yes.
What's your position?
What's my favorite word? Oh, position. Let's see. The paid one.
There you go. Give her a round of applause, please. Thank you so much for that. Because you know, whenever I ask that question, it's always interesting to see what people's response is. It lets you know where their mindset is.
Yeah.
Now, most people standardly will say from the back, which I do not argue with that. However, I prefer to say CEO. So kudos to you
Absolutely.
for saying a paid position. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you. So Sherry, we have you in the room, in the space. Now, you said you're originally from Miami. You were in the film industry. Just for our listeners and people that are new to you, give me a rundown of all the amazing things that you do as a dope woman.
Ooh, well, for one, pretty much pat myself on the shoulder for doing all these dope things.
Wow.
Because who else will do it if you don't do it?
Okay.
And then I just kind of being determined, focused. As a single mom, I kind of came up in the game, just toting my son around, homework and all, after school and all,
Wow.
kind of pulling him, tugging him to and from different sets. But ultimately just, having some goals in mind and, from start to finish, just crossing off, all those tick marks and just accomplishing what I can, however I can, in the time frame that I can, and just along the way inspire other people to do the same thing. So, just creating a plan, sticking to the plan, and whatever doesn't get resolved or whatever doesn't get accomplished, it wasn't God's plan.
Facts.
At the end of the day.
Big facts. So how did you get into the film and TV industry?
Ooh, this is a long story, but I'm going to keep it real short.
Let's do it, friend.
And long at the same dang time.
Okay.
So, wow. So I'm from Miami, Florida, and that's really not a mecca for film or television. It's more so music. But at any rate, I went to Florida A&M University.
Okay, right.
House of the Seven Hills. Yes.
Look at her face, though.
Yes.
Did you see it?
I'm with it. But every summer, because I couldn't afford to go straight through the year, semesters all year round, I would go home for the summer. And I remember one summer of 1999.
Okay.
I went back home and I worked for Claire's Boutique every summer.
Okay.
So I had a general manager, shout out to Catrice, who every time I would come home, because my parents encouraged me, you need to make money while you're here, because we're not funding summers, we're funding every other semester.
Okay.
And so I met a young lady when I was working at Claire's, and I just remember she would always rush in and she would rush out. And I was just like,
What's she doing?
Right.
Selling drugs.
So it just piqued my interest. So moving the story along, one day we were just at the store board by ourselves. Our manager, supervisor wasn't there, having us hand out baskets. So we just sat around and talked.
Okay.
And I said, okay, so you come in and you rushed out. Like, what is going on?
What you said?
So she was like, I'm an actress. Okay. And so then I knew of film and TV, but more so theater, because I was forced to take a theater appreciation course in college. That was an elective. Because I ran out of everything else, I waited to the last minute to register for classes.
Look at God.
And so I knew of theater, but very vaguely, but still kind of learning, again, it's not a film, TV, or theater mecca of Miami.
Right.
So I'm down there, I hear actors, and I'm just automatically like, just intrigued, like, tell me more. So she was like, I could do one better. One day, just come to the set. Fast forward again. What? Yes, it wasn't right away, but I ended up going to the set, and the set was actually a very low budgeted cable network,
Mhm.
bootleg as the world turned, right?
Okay.
But it had so much viewership because people really like ghetto drama.
Very true.
And so one of the young ladies, she was one of the main characters, the main actors. She ran a Publix marathon in Orlando, North Florida, and she twisted her ankle and could not make it. This was one of the times
Wait, she ran a Publix marathon?
Yeah.
What, she ran for chicken?
No,
What was the finish line?
like Publix was responsible for
I thought.
and it just happened to be on Disney's, their fairground.
Okay.
And so she's like, I won't be able to make it out to my ankle. This is one of my visits with my girlfriend. So here comes the director, like, hey, have you ever acted before? Have you ever did this? So again, fast forward, they end up sticking the script in my hand. It wasn't a
Were you
lot of
nervous?
dialogue. I was like, no, I'm not doing that at all. So my friend is like, you don't have anybody. All you have to do is do this and do that. You know, you have great charisma when we talk. You just survive. I mean, she didn't say it by the time,
But you know it.
that's really what it
was.
equates to today.
Pretty much.
So anyway, I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sound like a robot.
Okay.
They thought that I did a great job. They thought I brought the right ghetto energy.
Okay.
Bougetto.
Okay, Miami, stand up.
Okay. So I brought all of that, and it was like, you fit right in.
Okay.
So of course they wanted to keep me, but I was like, I'm in college. And so at the end of the summer, the phone was over. My parents were like, all right, time to get back to work.
Okay.
And so it was a huge sabbatical between that experience and actually me moving up here years later, trying it again.
Okay.
Huge sabbatical because I graduated in college, getting into corporate America, trying to get a real job, stop playing these games.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the emphasis. That wasn't the background that I came from. No one understood that world. But I'll tell you, that feeling never left me. The adrenaline of one, people praising me for something I had no idea what I was doing, and two, like literally just being able to tap into another world of imagination. And I was just sprung after that. Like I was like, how do I do more of this? So that's my entry into the creative arts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank God for that Publix marathon when she broke her leg. Shout out to Publix.
No, she twisted her ankle.
Is she all right now?
Oh, she's more than all right. I don't know where she is today, but it was.
She probably on the sideline smoking and packing new plates and we took her roll somewhere. Look staring out a window. So you've had quite an interesting journey, and I love the fact that you talked about corporate America and then getting to your passion, because typically Black people, a lot of times our parents don't really indulge in our passions off top until they see it pays off.
Yeah.
So they push you into corporate America. But then there's something you mentioned as far as that thing never left you.
Right.
Can you just describe what that feeling felt like? Because I want our listeners to know what it feels like to have a passion for something.
I guess it just feels like, it's a newness. It's something, I don't even think it has any descriptives. It's just something that you know. And when you merge with like-minded people, they know. And it's something that y'all talk about.
Right.
And it's an understanding, But when you try to explain it to the world, or I would tell you another charted feeling that I felt is everywhere I work, somebody always said, you just don't belong here.
I understand
and I could never register that. I was like, what do you mean I don't belong here? I'm making these, I'm making these.
I'm earning it,
right. I got plans. But it was always just like, I was always out of my seat. I was always trying
Isn't
to
that
find
an interesting position to be in? When people when you're somewhere where you think you're supposed to be in, and you got that one person in part,
they see it on you.
And you be like, no, you don't see it on me. And then you know it. Yeah. But when they speak it, it's like, they kind of right.
But for a very long time, I didn't know it. I just know I was always like coined eccentric as a child, but it was always me being pushed in the front of the church to sing. Like my parents and my grandmother, they were always like, baby, go up there and sing. Just sing something. Sing. And so that's what I thought. Maybe it was the singing, but I wasn't that great at that either, But with the acting, like I said, it was just a world where I was just trying to translate, okay, what is this like burning sensation, to try to find anything to do to where it feels like that. And I could never find it in anything else, because everything else was so structured. And I'm not a structured person. You know, I'm always like,
You're creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, listen, I could tell you who could talk about burning sensation. Sexy Red. So listen, we're gonna take a break in a minute. We'll be right back on one-on-one to Carrie. Don't forget my phone lines are open 678-439-7419. It is Female Fridays. My girl Sherry B is in the building. Y'all call and get your questions in. We locked and loaded. Let's go. are back in the building, guys. It's Female Fridays. Woo-hoo. So let me just tell you, Sherry, we just got these mics, so you are actually the first guest to debut on the mic.
Oh, I bust the mic.
You bust the mic, Sherry. So kudos to you. So listen, you brought a part of your team with you. So I want you guys to put your hands together for Mr. Sean Anthony Baker in the building.
Hey, what's going on? What up?
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Now we're gonna play the same game with you. You ready?
I don't know.
You ain't got no choice.
I ain't got no choice.
You ready?
I'm here now.
You ready? All right, here we go. First question. Who is your all-time celebrity crush?
I don't have one.
What in the
Huh.
I don't have
I believe. If you could have chosen any other career other than what you do now, what would it be and why?
one. I believe if not for this career, it would be military or I don't say secret service or special ops. I'm about protection.
I smoke too much weed. I might need it. Wait a minute. Okay, third question. What's your position?
Boss.
Okay,
Damn.
You kind of cheated because you knew.
Nah, that was my answer anyway.
You
but
sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like Sherry kind of.
Nah,
I don't know.
you know, boss.
All right. Now, I want to ask you, which would be an easy question for most, but for those that don't know what an AD is and what your roles are, can you tell our listeners what exactly you do and what that looks like, just a day in the life of an AD?
Well, okay, so ironically, for this project, I'm an AD.
Okay.
AD is assistant director,
Mm-hmm.
and so basically, you are doing everything to assist the director, who's the head lead of that project. You're helping them organize everything from their shot list, organization with PAs, personal assistants on set, actors, scripts, revising scripts, shots for the day. So things. I mean, there's a long list of that, but the AD is basically that the director's right hand person.
Okay.
But initially I'm an actor, so
Okay.
but I've been on enough sets and things to know what the AD does. So when Sherry was letting me know about this project, she said I need an AD, and I know how important that is because being on sets, being on these projects, movies, films, shows, you see the importance. You see how very important it is for you to have a good solid team and to know what their positions are, what they need to do. So you got to have a director needs a good AD to help keep things moving, keeping track of time. How long do we have on the shot? How many more shots do we have to go before we go to lunch, or before we have to move on to the next scene to get completion of the project. So yeah.
Okay. So kind of make sure everything stays in its structured form and keep things kind of moving along.
Yes.
Now let me ask you guys this question together. How do you feel about the current strike that's going on? Now, before you answer, I've come across more actors actually doing more work amongst themselves now because of the strike outside of the bigger platforms. But how is it affecting your work?
You want to go first?
No, go ahead. Ladies first.
Well, as far as myself, I would say not specifically affected by lack of work, but there is, for a lot of us actors, there is this, I guess it's just this insinuation that no work, but there's some XY variables attached to it, which means we're going to go ahead and sacrifice the sabbatical. Or for many of us, there may not be a heavy sabbatical, but at the end of the day, we don't want to be duplicated or replicated when it comes to voice and AI and just our images, and then due to inflation, so many things are happening. So we need to be paid for what we're worth. Long hours on set and sacrificial of looks and hair and
learning and technique and
travel and local hire and just all these various things, and paying a myriad of people, agents and PR and managers. It's just so much coming out of the pot. So this strike is really predicated on those things, us being able to really withstand the times. Being able to not only just, bobble our heads above water, but like really
survive and live off of it.
Yeah,
Be
make
good.
it an equal playing field, and the A-listers, top 3%ers is like they're fine, living,
They do.
very well in whatever part of the world. But what about the people, or what about talent performers who are, not remotely close to those levels? How do we thrive? So I would say the effect is just waiting to see the outcomes of how we're going to benefit financially. But as far as work, if you're a true creative and a true artist, your ingenuity, it should really just prompt you to want to do that much more and get your peers or a community of people together of like minds and create your own things and create those avenues, and not let it affect you so much that someone isn't hiring you. You hire yourself. So that's what it's taught me, and my those people that I constantly am consulting on a day-to-day.
Okay, what about you, Sean?
Yeah, I was just to kind of piggyback off of that. The strike affects everybody from in front of the camera, behind the camera, and so excuse me. Everyone is affected in every way, even the A-listers, because you can't, because to a degree you can't create, so you're not able to create the bigger projects and get paid for the projects that would normally, put you in a position to keep, to live and do your daily, to live your daily life in terms of, your well-being, your family,
Right.
So what this strike has also done, in my opinion, similar to when we had the shutdown,
I was going to say, it pushed for entrepreneurs.
It pushed forth again. It's like we're constantly seeing signs of why you should not leave everything, put everything in one pot. Why you should look for the opportunities to create your own path and create your own way. And again, as a creative, it doesn't stop. I saw a post, somebody posted one, it was another actor, and they posted, they said, when they saw the strikes the WGA strike was coming to an end, and the negotiations were happening, they put something and said, "Back to my destiny." And I said, I thought it was interesting because I understood where he was coming from. However, as a creative, know that your destiny should not stop because of another entity.
Yes.
Having that effect on you. So there's a phrase that I've coined, and I've been saying it working with various artists, just like working with Sherry. But the phrase I have is "Don't wait, create." As we're out there working all these other projects, these other shows, and we're grateful for them being on wonderful platforms, wonderful shows, wonderful films. But I also don't want to leave my future and my career in the hands of somebody that should they decide one day they want to do something else,
they gonna switch up on me.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So again, I think the lesson is learned. What hopefully people are getting, a lot of, especially artists and creatives, it's like, don't leave it. Don't leave your future. Don't leave your passion, your passion up in somebody else's hands. And so take the opportunities to understand this, look at it, see what's going on, and figure it out. And how what else can you do in addition? Like, should it go left again? Where are you going to be?
Facts.
You know what I mean? So so taking a look at that and taking a look at who you are. If it's your passion, you don't stop.
Facts. Yeah.
Your passion, you don't stop. Nothing stops you. And that's another one of my mantras. Like, do it with passion. Don't do it at all.
Yeah. I love that because like you said, when the pandemic first happened, it pushed all of us into a whole other level of entrepreneurship.
Right.
And with this whole strike, I've met more actors delving into their more independent film projects than before. So everything happens for a reason. And corporate America ain't what it used to be.
No.
So it's important to have that passion lined up. So tell me about this. When it comes down to the writing process itself, what does that kind of look like, especially being in this space?
Man, the writing process just really honestly starts with a single thought.
I was going to say, like, are you like walking around the house and then you just like have this thought, like, I should write a dope book?
No, I had a conversation with a very close girlfriend of mine yesterday, and I said sometimes I experience moments where I'm always recording on my phone. I'm always people watching, and it's not on purpose. Again, we spoke about my experience, decades ago, where it's just like you just have this throbbing sensation in here. It's just like you're not very technical with it. It's innate.
It's just
in you.
Yeah. It's
so
from your
sometimes
DNA.
I'm somewhere and I'm like, oh man, that would be ooh, well,
Mhm.
what if that happened like that? And here I go with my voice recorder, like, all right, interior day, da 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 da. So this it'll be set up like this, it'll be set up like that. She'll enter this way, like it's
That's
just.
dope.
And then ultimately, you may not do anything with the sound bite right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you become intentional at some point, you know, in the near future, you just piece everything together, and you know, you just kind of see either you're making, you know, some type of moralistic, you know, viewpoint,
Mm-hmm.
or you're just really wanting to tell whatever genre of a story you choose.
Right.
So for me, to answer your question, the writing process just really starts with a single thought.
Okay.
And then you know, you kind of, you know, pretty much put the ideas together, implement them, and either you move forward with the sound plan, or you just say, hey, you know, this was just for me.
Okay.
But you train your brain, I think, to take your that creative itch more serious and trust yourself.
Yeah.
And can I add too, once you have that light bulb go off of that idea, I think it's important for people to understand that once you start writing, and if you want to be a good writer and a good storyteller, because that's what you're doing, you're telling a story, then get some kind of education on it. Like, you know, go to writing classes. There's online writing classes. You don't have to have gone to Juilliard, you know, or, you know, but you can go ahead and find ways to understand how do I structure writing, you know, writing a story, writing a screenplay, you know, writing a script, because because if you're really passionate about it,
you're gonna want to learn.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna want to understand the schematics of it. So.
Wow. Now, what about the film process? How does that work? Like, I know that they write treatments and things, so I mean, I bet it's a lot because you got to go through every single scene.
Yeah.
Like, how long does the film process take before you start shooting?
Now, I mean, are you talking
independent? Traumatized.
You are we talking independent or studio?
Both. I want both.
So, studio is a lot of moving parts, which then leads you to a lot of jobs of people specifically working in their designated areas.
Okay.
So I would start on probably on the independent side because I'm more familiar with that. I work plenty of studio, but I'm not a part of their processes.
Okay.
But as far as the independent standpoint, it's really honestly, again, just finding a producer. You know,
is it hard to find a reliable producer?
It's not hard per se, but you know, if you're thinking economically, you want to have someone on your team that's really good, has a really good resume of doing these things repetitively, not somebody that, I can produce, you know, because if you get someone that just, just like as an actor, I could present my resume just as, you know, a director of a firm or a company or a lawyer or, you know, an engineer. Show me what you've done.
Show me what you've done.
You know, show yourself approved, and then we'll consider interviewing you, see if we're a good fit. But you always want to more than likely start with a producer that can kind of set you up on, okay, you know, let me take a look at your script or your treatment. Where should it go? Are you trying to do streaming services, or is this the film festival circuit? Is this just for family and friends screening? Like, what are your goals? So a producer is almost kind of like that brainstorm manager that's going to be with you from start to finish. I would say it's just one of those things where you have to see where you are financially, because producers cost. Just like us as actors or talent or performers, we cost. And then some of them are part of a producer's guild. So if you get someone that's in the guild, then that's a higher level. But if you get someone around the way, but it just has, you know, skin in the game, hey,
your quality might not be.
You're cutting corners, but you at least showing me that you're able to do the job. So I would say it starts with a producer. I feel. And this is post just the general thought of, I want to put together a film project. So the filmmaking process can go so many various ways. I know that there is some level of structure to it, but people go about it so many different ways. And again, it just depends on, are you casting? Are you just, you know, getting your friends and associates to lend their time to the project? You know, again, what kind of genre, what kind of budget, what are you doing with it? And then from there, you go through pre-production, production, and post-production stages, which again, that can be arrow pointed in every which direction, because in independent forums, it's like all hands on deck. So it just depends on who you have to work with, and who you have, managing your project and who kind of helping you along the way of, getting it on said platforms. So I don't know if that really answers the question. It's kind of more macro than micro, but micro will be here all day.
Oh, exactly. That'll be a whole other situation.
That's the foundational piece, I feel. So what you got?
I mean, to really put it in short, I go back to people doing, I say you got to do the research. I think we're at a time right now where information is in abundance. You can find anything that you're looking to be, anything that you want to be or aspire to be.
Right.
You can find that information
Real talk.
and do the research and find out what it takes.
Yeah, very true.
So in whether it's an independent film or you've got the capital and the resources to put together a major film, or you have to understand the structure of what it takes to do that first. And like Sherry was saying, you're gonna have to get producers and a line producer, find out what kind of film you're doing, what's the genre, what does it take? Is it a period piece? Period piece is something different. Now you're talking about getting vintage clothes and vintage props.
That's a whole nother.
It's a whole other situation. Is it sci-fi? Is it VFX? Now you're talking about that's a budget to do special effects. Then are you what's your budget now? Because are you going for A-list actors, B-list actors? Are you shooting with your friends? Are you shooting? Are you shooting for?
With a shoebox.
Are you shooting? I'm not fooling with y'all. Are you shooting? No, listen. Listen. There's no shade to that. Listen, let me tell you something. They're making money and they're making strides in this media.
I love you, the shoebox movie.
But listen, and I know we have mutual friends and actors that are like killing it, and
they're doing their thing,
killing it.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that is that they're not waiting for anybody to tell them what to do.
Yes.
They're getting it done. Just like how Netflix started out, or we had Bedbox back in the day.
Very true.
When you was doing send back the
I never
DVDs
returned. I got my crib, got messed up.
Who did? See what people was doing
Did
all
they
kind
really
of.
expect us to get them videos back?
Man, listen, people had all kind of hustles going on. It's crazy. But again, to your point, it's like you don't have to wait for that. So, what you want to do is you want to find out. Again, I say it's always good to do the research to find out what do I need to do to make this work. I'm going to shoot a short film. What are you trying to do? Then start making it make sense. How can I be effective in getting this done? How many? Is it a big cast, small cast? Am I shooting a scene? Is it a proof of concept so I can get to a bigger bag or a bigger situation? You just got to find out what it is that you want to do first, and then you can find out how to do it.
So you got to be intentional.
And I think what's really practical is if you're serious about it, latch on to somebody who's doing it or network. I mean, I tell a lot of people this is really not so. This is not such a a far shot in the dark from any other industry. You really can't be a professional at anything without adequately going about steps 1, 2, 3, or however many steps there are. And then you have to just really merge yourself into a world and get out there and network and connect, whether it's online, if you're introverted or extroverted, go socialize.
Now, let me ask you people who do this. Now, before we go to our next break, how do actors network? Like, I know about music and things, but what do you guys, what kind of networking events do actors do to go and meet other, you guys have, nights or, what type of things do you guys do?
Oh, it's a myriad of things.
Yeah,
really?
But it's similar to the music.
Okay, so you may have a meet and greet or something.
Yeah.
It's a myriad of things.
It's a myriad of things.
Okay.
Online, but there's workshops. You go to classes where you have various actors going to those classes as well.
Okay. So just being in the craft is networking itself. Just kind of being in those spaces.
You got to be in it.
Yeah.
Just like if you go to a showcase for a music
Very
situation, you're
true.
going to be producers, writers, right? So
Same concept.
same concept.
Listen, I listen. I'm getting a whole. Don't be trying to go act now, Nelly. They'll talk
He said, you know what I always
He told me everything, and I could blame detectives. Listen, when we come back, we'll talk some more to Sherry and Sean about their craft, the mind behind the craft, and what projects they're working on, and what's coming up next. So make sure you guys stay locked and loaded right here on 101 TKO Radio. Knock them out the box. on TV already. We are back in the space. It's Female Fridays. That was my boy Usher. You know, Usher gonna be in the Super Bowl this year.
I just was talking to him about that.
Listen, I'm gonna be front and center in my TV with
There
my
you
little
go.
mini skirt on.
You know,
At home though, at home.
You know, I was waiting for where.
Listen,
TV
at home.
Here we go.
Skates. No, no, skates.
I might have the skates. I have vinyl flooring. I might be sliding off through
Okay,
here.
all right.
If y'all see no Instagram sliding around the house, just know I'm watching the Super Bowl. But yes, we are talking to Sherry and Sean Baker. Not like a couple of y'all do Sherry and Sean Baker. I won't say it like that, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. My next question is, what is your most recent project?
Our most recent project is Forget Me Not.
Okay.
And it's a family drama. I call it kind of Hallmark infused, so people can kind of get the temperature of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about a family. Of course, some family drama.
Okay.
But it's a mother and son. Both characters are struggling with their own set of issues, their set of emotional tolls.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like the family structure. They've lost the patriarch of the family, and now they're dealing with some things that are forthcoming. So
Okay.
we have, I would say a bit of a plot twist, but not so much. But we do have them moving along their life, dealing with these circumstances the best way that they can, and it's kind of heartstringy, I would
Okay.
say, and it also deals with the reality of what a lot of people go through and what they deal with. So I'll just, without spoilers, I'll leave it there. But yeah, that's the latest Forget Me Not, which is a family intense drama.
And where can we watch Forget Me Not?
Well, we're still in post-production.
Okay.
And so forthcoming is a public screening, set sometime either this year or the top of next year, and then also just circulating the film festival circuit. So,
Okay.
try to get as many eyes on it as we can.
Did you have any roles in Forget Me Not?
I did not. I actually wrote and directed it.
Okay.
And then that's my co-creator, co-writer, AD as well, John. And so, we just really pretty much brought the idea to life and just executed it to the end.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, when you sit down to write, what 3 items do you have to have near you when you're sitting down to write?
Man, no distractions, so no TV,
Okay.
no, some people can do stuff with ambient noise, but I really have to have some type of focus or study music on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm there just with me and my laptop,
Mhm.
and I just have to have a quiet nook,
Okay.
a space where I don't have any distractions. So that would be just kind of like just a peaceful environment.
Right.
I'm not in it. I wrote a song in a coffee shop, but that's different. But just, in my space, my comfort, my creative zone. And I probably just, I normally have my coffee or my tea. Just something to kind of continue to soothe me, keep me up, keep me focused. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so my phone is there, but I'm really not like,
Tapped
getting
into it,
distracted
yeah.
with that either.
Mhm.
And so I would just say, just a quiet, creative space where, whatever can come to life, it has that leverage.
Yeah. What about you, Sean? When you sit down to kind of look over your work, what 3 things do you need to keep you in a creative space?
I need my incense and sage.
Okay.
Palo Santo 6. I use music to get me in the mood of whatever I need.
Mm-hmm.
So music is a big part of my life.
Which one?
Creative.
You playing study music or Mark?
Listen. It could be, it could be one and the same. I mean, it works together. It just depends on what I need to create.
Mm-hmm.
That music, and I need the right environment. Again, sometimes I need to be outside and be in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other times I just need to kind of sit in a quiet space.
Yeah.
And have a big space. If you have like how some people will have like a prayer room,
Yeah.
or a creative room in their house, it may be that. Or I need to just go outside and just
breathe in.
Breathe in, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think different things in life help to
Keep you in that
inspire
space.
you,
Mhm.
and kind of push you along as a creative. So it just depends on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to write, and where your headspace is at the time. Yeah. But those are the things I need.
I love it because we creatives a lot of times we use some of the same practices, meditation, sitting down, the music, and they try to separate it, but they're kind of one all in the same because you're trying to get to a peaceful place where you can hear just your thoughts and get away from everything else, all the distractions, to create.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what 3 tips would you give creators who are up and coming, like the next, dope female, TV producer? What 3 tips would you give her if she's a college student? What would you tell a college student?
Oh man, just really live in that moment. Like, assess where you are. Assess your peers, like-minded people. The one thing that I really, really wish I did in college was just to find my community, my village, my tribe. Like, just try to tap into people who are doing exactly what I'm doing because it makes it that much more easier, especially when you have families or, moments of isolation and you're just like, what
I
direction
need
do I go
somebody, I need
in?
somebody that does what I do.
Yeah, and when you hang out with these people, it's not wasted energy
It's
or
energy
plugging
refuel.
and this and that.
Yeah.
We got things to do, and I just really wish that I started way earlier than what I started. But I would just tell that young lady, that young man, I said, well, whatever you're doing, you got to write the vision, you got to make it plain, constantly see it. I'm writing goals all the time and very adamant about committing to those goals. So write your goals down. One cheat code in life is write them down, take a picture, and put it as a screensaver on your phone.
So you constantly
see it.
It's a constant reminder.
It's a constant reminder of what you haven't achieved and what you need to achieve, and what you haven't achieved. Don't beat yourself up about it, but like go after it the next season. You know what I'm saying? But never forget. And then also I feel if it's that young lady, young adult who's striving for something, get your finances in order.
Hello, church.
Because baby, let me tell you, especially these college students now where, everything is so codependent on someone else, so frivolous and they're spending like I really wish all those credit cards I got in college.
Okay.
I'm really like, why?
I don't know.
For groceries?
Yes.
And I had parents that were very forward thinking when it came to savings. My dad is very, very frugal and taught that and preached that time and time again. But it was like, I'm grown, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
We all do that.
And I'm gonna go to the mall.
Buy these J's real quick.
Right. And get me the outfit. But just really, if I can't scream anything louder, and I'm always telling this to my son as well, but just save your money. Even if it feels like you have an excessive amount of money, trust me, save it, because as a creative, stuff pops up all the time. And it don't even have to be your stuff. It's just somebody else that's pushed on you. If you're thinking about, managing your talent, or if someone is managing you, they have expectations where they don't want to hear no excuses about I don't have it. Get it, find it. Didn't you say you were serious about
you
this?
Better do it.
And so those are the 3 things that, hopefully they were pretty practical that I would say.
Absolutely.
Start there.
Okay. Sean, what you got?
I'll be honest, I mean, she hit all the points were real good. The only other thing I'll add to that is, for me, it's of great importance. Make sure that you're honest about your why. Because if you're not honest about your why, none of those things
ain't gonna stick.
It ain't gonna stick. None of those things will even matter. You don't even want to do it because the sacrifice that you'll have to make as a creative, to do what you want to do, and to like, no, I know I really want to do this, and I really you won't do it. You won't even.
Your first sign of turmoil, you out.
Yeah, exactly. When that pressure bust spike, and when that pressure comes, it's like, oh God, and then you're not doing it.
Yes.
So for me, like everything that Sherry said is right. Just be honest about your why, and then I think that will help lead you to getting everything else done. And again, I love this platform. I love that we're speaking to our community, but specifically speaking to women and Black women. Let them understand, women of color, everybody. Let them know that these things are possible. You're an example. Sherry's an example, and just to Sherry's credit, when because when she met me, I was already getting into the act. I was already doing it, and I remember she pulled me aside. And she was like, "Sweet, what you doing? How you and she was like, so how you?" And
I can see you doing it just like that too.
I promise you, it was just like that.
It
was just like
what's going on?
Where you and how you? But to her credit, because a lot all the people that have asked me how and this and that, and how do you? I pay attention to what people do and not what people say.
Mhm.
And what I respect her for is the fact that when I said, well, yo, listen, if you're trying to do this, you got to at least get into an acting class and find out what if it's for you.
Right.
And it just like I said, go to an acting class. I'll list a couple things to do,
Mhm.
and she did it.
I know
And then went above and beyond that. But then I see what people do. So I see people doing themselves, not just 'cause I know what it was to grind. I'm a hustler. I'm
the
a grind.
respects the grind.
Yeah, always.
Yes.
I don't want nobody hand me nothing. So you can say but you know, but you can use the help. And I wish back even with the music, like if somebody was able to say, let me take you to the studio right quick. Let me show you how I did this. Let me show you, I'm looking at the task cam. I'm looking at the first, MPC. I had people around me, your tribe, your people. I was able to show you something. So that's very important. But when I see people doing what they say they're gonna do, and applying that, that's why I tip my hat off to her, because I said, all right, she's serious. She mean that. She mean that. As opposed to somebody going, I want to try this thing, like it's a pair of shoes. You don't try.
We're not trying over here.
Yeah.
I get a bunch of people. Sometimes we get people that say, I just want to try on the radio. We don't try around here. You either do it or you don't. There's no in between. And when you start being intentional, like you said, your tribe does get drawn to you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gravitating to people that really do it. People always ask about, how you keep the people with you as you elevate. You really ain't got to do nothing. You have to keep moving forward because they're gonna fall off regardless. So
just had a post the other day.
What the post say?
Oh my God!
Come on, Sean. I'm in the spirit.
What
did
you got? I said I don't chase. I attract what God has for me.
Period.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta chase nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And even with God, He say seek. I ain't gotta chase. I'm seeking.
Yeah.
So listen.
Come on now.
Hey.
It's Friday or Sunday. Hold on.
You already knew my daddy preacher too. You know I would go there. Listen.
This makes sense.
It's all in here, okay?
Yeah.
So drop your social media profiles and tell our listeners and your supporters how they can connect with you, learn from you, grow with you, and continue to stay locked in with you.
Right. So I'm on Instagram and my tag is Sherry McCrae. It's spelled CHERRIE_IG. I also have my webpage or website. It's www. Same name, first and last, SherryMcCrae.com. Twitter, oh my gosh, Sherry.
You be on your Twitter?
I do.
You do?
I maximize Twitter now.
You like Twitter?
Yeah.
For real?
Well, for us.
Maybe I need to get on.
I mean, he's
Everybody.
a living example from his most recent.
So, okay, let me ask you this real quick. Like, how often do you be on Twitter?
All the time, every day.
Are you tweeting?
Yes.
What kind of stuff y'all be tweeting?
A lot.
Everything.
Like what?
You got it. I mean,
give them a side of your person.
Like, what do you
doing all the business?
Really?
Because the likes of
really.
People are,
okay,
they are on there.
Because I've been like, but
get on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll find get active definitely, because what happens is it's a different platform. Every platform has. I was just talking about this. Every platform has a different personality on it.
Facebook is your cousin.
IG guy,
Yeah.
In certain platforms, you pick whichever one you feel, but certain platforms are for ego. It's like, I'm doing this from memory. So that's cool, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's content still.
Okay.
But the other platforms, I'm going to give it to Twitter, X, and TikTok, where you can maximize and monetize what you do. And so that's why it's important that if you're a brand, if you're dealing with anything in the media, like, you need to be on it, because there's other businesses, official businesses.
But I'm just trying to understand what you be tweeting. Like, give me an example.
Well, okay, so for example, he can probably be a better advocate.
Give me an example of a random tweet.
He just had a project drop.
But she's saying random stuff,
give that one loose, just very loose example real quick.
All right,
so that she can see.
Okay, bet. So I got a project that we just dropped yesterday. I'm working on a project called it's a short film called Open Door.
Okay.
You can hashtag Open Door, but it's called Open Door on Twitter, and we put it it's on every platform, every social media platform. It's with Kevin Cates is the producer director. Kevin Cates. No, I know you're about to go crazy.
Look now, wait,
I know. No, I know. No, it's Kevin Cates.
Oh, y'all heard that.
And the production company is Clinging Vines Films. But you'll be able to get on it. But you tweet your work. It's no different than IG. It's just that it's more conversational, but you get to also post your work on there as well. You get to see what you're doing. You can you don't go live if they have spaces.
Okay.
So you can still utilize it. You're just utilizing it a different way than you would IG or Facebook.
Now let me ask you this: And I promise I'm done. after
No,
this.
you good. No, we got you. We're gonna give you the information.
So is on the Twitter platform, is Twitter hard, like drawn or heavily guided by hashtags as Instagram is?
You have to be very strategic with your hashtags. Because
Okay.
you're not just hashtagging 30 things, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to be very strategic in order to pull that algorithm from that. Because everything has that pull, that tug, right? But I would say, for example, you're here doing whatever you do, or anyone in whatever capacity, any lane you're in, just find strategic hashtags, radio, audience, international, domestic.
Okay.
The
life.
talk. Well, if that's you, hey, that's the thing. But chat, talk.
Okay.
Just think methodic and think strategic.
Okay.
Because I noticed that Twitter can either love you or leave you alone.
Yeah.
So just with certain industries like radio, grab them by the kahunas, and like I said, the other thing, but just grab their attention right away. And if you talking some good talk, some good content, you got something that is worth watching or following. People put stuff all kind of places. People who
Blueface just put his son balls on Twitter.
You said what now?
Blueface
Oh no.
Blueface just put his kids' nuts on Twitter. So that's what all my report to Twitter be who put they fancy feet on. It's been a mix between OnlyFans because I've heard some things about Twitter because I heard Twitter.
Yeah.
And there's a level of Twitter that's like.
But when you think about this, any platform, people use it. You gotta use it. It's like a weapon. You use it for a purpose.
Right. That's true.
So at the end of the day, if Twitter is more engaging, you can't have conversations on IG. You post, everybody likes it, they leave a comment. Twitter, you can have a comment. You can say, "Listen, I'm talking about this today on my radio show. Who wants to join me? Follow me on that." Like it's still an avenue or a platform where you can promote your work.
Yeah.
So don't overlook it. It's a platform that's very viable.
Okay.
And Threads was doing it. Was kind of doing the same thing.
I feel like they rolled out Threads too soon, and they weren't really prepared to kind of give it.
It's on there.
It just depends on if you're a creature of change. People don't like change, and you're doing a whole bunch of change at them at one time. Like, just give me the basics. For me, anyway, I'm only speaking for me. Maybe the younger generation they could keep up with all of this, but social media as a whole, if you're business minded, it's a lot.
Yes,
so
it is.
Determine what lane you in. For social ability, cool. You do whatever you want, throw whatever on.
Yeah, I ate something
different
today.
strategies.
Yeah,
I see all that.
Yeah.
But if you're
kinda
business minded, get verified, do what you gotta do, this, that, and just go down this straight and narrow path, have a plan, and don't, just stick to the plan, stick to your brand.
Now let me ask you one more question. How you got about TikTok?
How do you feel about it? How do
you feel about TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
Yeah.
Sean, you do a dancer?
No. I'm doing no dances.
No Harlem Shake. You not up there. Okay, I was hoping now, but they don't be on there now.
No, I don't do those.
So let me ask you this.
But you can use it
for whoever.
Do you ever find talent on TikTok? Because TikTok is full of a lot of actors. Like, have you ever been inspired or thought to go look there for talent? I'm just curious. So
here's what I'll say. It works for whoever works for. I say if you're being genuine and sincere with whatever you're doing, it'll work for you. I know a young lady, even during the pandemic, she was mimicking Donald Trump.
Okay.
And she got on with a very prominent talent agency out in LA. I think it was CAA. Okay. And it was just on the strength of her doing, spoof of Donald Trump. And her following just, her skyrocketed. But again, she went on there not to say, "Look at me." She went on there because genuinely
it was just natural.
Or she was very good at his vocal tone. She probably found it funny herself watching Donald Trump. Everybody was, making fun of his toupee or, whatever his mannerisms, and she just started mimicking that.
Okay. Well, look, we got somebody to call for y'all. Caller, who do we have on the line this morning? Chrissy outside too. What's up, my boy? How you doing? Good. What you got for me this morning? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. How you living today, family? Okay, well, shoot, I got PR now. You know I'm blowing up and getting famous and stuff. But we can definitely work it out. Let me. When you gonna be in the city? Okay, well, I got church tonight. What about tomorrow? All right, well, shoot, hop in my DM. I got you. Okay, okay, I got you.
You so famous. That's when you know you're grown up. You can't even remember the calls.
Can we go to a break real quick? Hey man, y'all, we'll be back real quick in a minute. 101 TKO Radio, Real Shit Talk Podcast. You live to your name, my boy. You live to your name. We'll be back, y'all. What I want to TKO Radio, we are back in the building with my girl Sherry and with Sean Baker, creative. Y'all, we've been having a time this morning, ain't we?
Yes, ma'am.
We've been having a little.
Very much so.
It's been
It's been a little more than that.
More for something else.
So Sean, where
Yeah.
can people find you on social media, get connected with you, support you, and maybe even if they want to learn on you, how can they get in touch with you?
Similarly, IG Sean Anthony Baker. That's SEAN Sean Anthony Baker on IG. Same thing. D Sean Baker, Sean Anthony Baker. Facebook, same thing. You can Google me
Okay.
and you'll find me.
All right
Sean
now.
Anthony Baker. Yeah.
They can't call you on this phone line.
Nah. So come on, what you doing tonight?
Hey!
I'm gonna be at Bedside Baptist Church.
The pastor Count Cathedral is doing the sermon.
Oh, you know, they said they was having.
Yeah.
Man, I got
Bishop Pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, you guys are always welcome to come back on my airwaves. It's been a joy, a pleasure. Whenever that next project rolls out, whenever you get ready to do Forgive Me Not, let us know. If y'all want us to come set up at the premiere, any support, let us know. We creators have to stick together, and I always say Black media matters. You know, whether it's radio, film, television, all of it matters because it's our communication as a Black community, and we have to make sure that message is being communicated properly. So thank you guys so much for coming. I look forward to connecting more. Listen, y'all stay locked in. My second guest in the building. Hey, man. Y'all don't be calling me like that no more. All right, y'all. We'll be back in a minute. 101 TK Radio, knocking out the box. Y'all stay locked in. Female Fridays. I love it. Scorpio, we are back. It's Friday morning. Female Friday is my favorite day of the week. And I promise you guys, I was bringing all the jewels, all the gems, all the inspiration, motivation, the sensations, the laughter, all of that on today because I have two dope women that I have been waiting to sit down with. And the first one we just got done with Sherry. So give Sherry a round of applause. She was really, really good. Now it's time to kick it up a notch. So I want to introduce someone extra special. I can't even talk. Extra special. So here's the thing. We always talk about credit and getting our lives together, but credit is always this big fear. But I don't think it will be as big of a fear when we sit down with someone like Chrissy Lee. So put your hands together one time for my girl Chrissy Lee.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Chrissy.
How are you guys
The
doing?
pink is pinking.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it. So listen, before we get started, I always play a little game like this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so the way the game works is I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and you got to answer the questions within 3 to 5 seconds. The first answer that comes out of me, I don't care what it is, Chrissy.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, first question. Who was your all-time celebrity crush?
Jay-Z.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You
I
like
don't
him?
like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Like the
yeah.
nose action?
I like
Okay.
them all weird looking.
Okay. Second question. If you could have chosen any other career other than what you do now, what would it be and why?
Wow. I think I would be like a flight attendant.
Really?
Yeah, to go. I want to travel. I want to travel and go across, for free.
You probably the flies flight attendant.
I would.
You.
And meet all the different people. I think
That's
that would be
true.
dope.
Could you do that long term?
Country.
You
Yeah.
think you get tired of it?
No, you travel in different countries, stay a couple of days on their, their dime.
That's
It's
true.
Like, wow.
That might be my next career. If this don't work out, then I'm become a flight attendant. All right, third question. You ready?
Mhm.
What's your favorite position?
Oh shoot. I would think.
All right, we'll take it for the win. I always ask that question because I love to see what people's mindset is. So, like, sometimes my first answer was what you said, but some people say like CEO, boss. But I'm gonna go with what you said. So, give Chrissy a round of applause for that, please. Thank you. All right, let's dive right into this conversation. So, you have Casey Tax Solutions. You have Shop 11-9. What else do you have? Let me make sure.
I'm
The
licensed
tour.
realtor.
Okay.
I'm a licensed realtor. Casey Tax Solutions, Shop 11-9. I had a Black Card service and I'm getting back going out. Out there. I'm just in a lot of different things.
Okay.
I'm big on multiple streams of income because you just never know what, one season might be good or something for this certain job. But I know I need money every day. I need income coming in every single day. So
how did you get into the financial aspect from credit and tax? Like, did you always have an affinity for like numbers?
Yes,
Really?
definitely. I went to school for accounting.
Really?
I didn't finish, but
But
I
you
started.
yeah.
I started in accounting, and then maybe around my second year, I had a offer. Let me tell you how I started doing taxes. I needed some money. I was like 17, 18.
Yeah.
Going into my second year of college. And they needed like one of those waivers.
Mhm.
Remember those waivers of saying come here?
Yeah.
And so me and one of my best friends from high school, we got over there, we started waiving, getting paid like $5 an hour. And then I sat in on one of the classes. And then, one day I was on my lunch break or something, and the owner he was trying to figure out, how to do something.
Yeah.
Because he owned the tax business, but he didn't know how to prepare taxes at all.
Wow.
And so for me to sit there and listen to the class, I answered some of the questions. He was like, wait a minute. You need to have a seat and, try to see if you can do taxes. And that was it from there.
Really?
Yeah. So I was one of those like liberty waving people.
You
and
was
those
waving out
costumes.
there?
Yes. Well, me and my best friend, she might be on this live.
Oh my gosh.
She was Uncle Sam and I was a liberty lady. Girl, yeah. That's how it started.
I can see you do the whole liberty thing too.
That's how it started.
So I want to ask you about taxes first. Like, most Black people, we have a fear of taxes. What do you think is the biggest tax myth just by just standardly?
I think I really think that we're gonna owe, or people are afraid because they have the Uncle Sam, Uncle Tom type of
mentality.
Yeah, it's just like we have to do things the right way so that we can build just like the others do.
Right.
The others take, and it's ways to get they might see, if you don't get a refund, most people don't want to file.
Okay.
And that's that's the biggest thing. Like, people expect the taxes just for a refund, but it's part of life. It's part of like your everyday. Living in the United States.
Yeah.
I was at a dealership one time, and he was from like maybe Mexico or another Spanish speaking country, and he was like, he doesn't understand why so many people complain about paying taxes, but we live so well. You know, everybody is struggling, but compared to other countries,
we balling.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was like, he never understood why people here can always complain about, you know, paying taxes. And that's the biggest thing. We may have to pay, but at the end of the day, they're not coming after you 10 years later, 5 years later.
That's true.
You know, after you make a certain amount of money, you have to file your taxes.
All right, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, right.
We're on the ice.
So, you know, everyone is getting in trouble, you know, with that, the Tinsley, I think.
Yeah.
They went to jail, but that was more so they were working with their accountant and falsifying documents, not claiming how much they were making. So it's not worth it. You know, now they live the lavish lifestyle
And now
for what,
they
10 years.
yeah.
They got 10 or 20
and
years
you
in
all
jail.
going to jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, when you do taxes, is there a lot of math involved? Because what actually goes into preparing taxes? Because as someone who gets their tax prepared, I always wonder, what are y'all doing?
It's really not a lot of math, but you know, before I remember I used to go with my grandmother to get her taxes prepared. And they had the pencil, the calculator, writing down on the forms, adding it itself. Now, of course, the technology is different. We have software that compute. It's more so as a tax preparer, just knowing the laws.
Okay.
So if you know the laws, they change every year. It's easy. You just put the numbers in the system, and it does all the calculations for you. It's just knowing where to go, where not to go, what to, you know, how to, because there's laws for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's laws to help those that make a lot of money. And we can also, you know, millionaires use these laws, so why can't we?
Right.
So it's just knowing those laws and knowing those policies and rules and not going too far. So it's like the IRS is knocking on your door.
So how do you know if you have come across a good tax preparer or not? Like, what are some things that people should look for standardly?
I would definitely say, you know, being able to contact them throughout the year. That's number one. I had a lot of clients that have went somewhere else, and once they get the money, once it's filed, it's like I can't get a copy of my tax return. I can't ask questions. I don't know this. I don't know that. That's number one. Making sure that they're present.
Okay.
You know, whether it's an actual tax office you can walk into throughout the year, or you can you know, see them on social media. But making sure you can continue. They're not just here.
Just pop up shop
January, April, and then you don't see them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely that's one thing. And then, you know, asking questions, not letting you tell them anything.
Okay.
Because, you know, you have to, as a tax preparer, due diligence is making sure that whatever information they're giving you seems correct. You can't be drilling people, you know, and saying, well, that's not your child. But you can kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just making sure that the tax preparer is asking you questions, because if we're liable. So if we put wrong information, we could lose our license. And, you know, it's a lot to get an actual EFIN and P10 to prepare taxes.
Wow. So now let's switch gears. How did you get into credit? Like, did you end up fixing your own credit?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I was maybe, I think in 2018, 2019, there was a really big credit guru in Atlanta. And I paid him $2,500, you know, to try to get my credit fixed. Maybe one thing fell off. Then I went to another lady, paid her $1,500. Nothing came off. So I was like, you know what? It's time for me to try this myself.
Wow.
And I started at 497, right? And that's how a lot of people are ashamed to, like, you know, show people their credit score. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Because I started out the lowest of the lowest, repossession, all types of stuff with my credit. So it's like, it's okay. I'm far from a judgmental person. I'm here to, like, help everyone. I want everyone to do better. I want to see everybody win.
Yes.
So it's like, number one, get your credit right.
Period.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then how I got into taxes was that, credit was me fixing it, and also finding ways outside of tax season to kind of build KC Tax Solutions. Because I believe over the past 3 years, I really put my all into my financial side of my businesses. So I was doing like drop shipping, clothing, and that was maintaining my livelihood for almost 10 years. But,
really?
Yeah, but it's just like, I want something that if social media falls off the earth,
I can still eat.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's just like, you know, all my clothing line was just all social media. So only way they can see my website or contact me is social media. But if you have something that people need and they're going to look for you, and they can go find an email or go find a website, then, you know, it's something that I want to make sure is longevity and actually doing. Yeah.
Listen, when we come back, we're going to talk some more to Chrissy from KC Tax Solutions and then some about credit, how to get your credit and your life right, and why your finances play a major role in being a dope female if you really are one. So y'all stay locked, and don't forget my phone lines are open if you want to ask Chrissy any questions, because her prices are going up October 1st.
Yes, thank you.
Let me say that again. I called her before. I was like, Chrissy, wait, Chrissy. Her prices are going up, but you still have time to call in now, 678-439-6419. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay locked in. with the yayo. Now I'm on the Turks and Caicos. Sorry,
Your mainstream.
we are back in the building, my girl Chrissy Lee. You know, the conversation off air is super hot, so we had to jump back in. So we ain't even cut honey bands at the 50 bands, but we had to bring the conversation back around now. I can attest to being a client because I have decided to take a step in making you my credit repair person. So we were just talking about the whole credit process and the relationship between the credit repair agent and the client. So can you just talk briefly about that, like what that should look like? Because a lot of people think, okay, I'll pay you and that's it. And if I don't see my score go up, that's it. But there's more to it.
Yes, you actually have to do the work. I always say, help me help you. You know what I mean? So it's just like if I'm getting rid of all these negative items, collections, repossessions, we can get rid of evictions and bankruptcies, and then you have like your car payment or your mortgage or whatever you have that you're still paying, and you're paying it late. You're not working down, and you have $1,000 credit card and you have it at $998. You have to kind of work this. Yes, exactly. It needs to be under 30%, and if you can get it to under 10%, that's the best way to boost your credit score. Like I was saying, it's like if I'm erasing negative stuff, but then you're not paying your bills on time, it's like evening out, so your score is not going up. So while I'm erasing negative items and collections and stuff like that, I'm just asking that my clients make sure you can try. I know times are hard, but like you said, at least pay them the minimum. But I expect it's best to pay more to get that credit utilization down to under 30%, if you can 10%, and then make sure you're paying all your bills on time. Everyone knows that we're in a recession, right? COVID just passed, and
That's probably
exactly. But so just call your creditors. They will work something out with you. They will, if you have a late payment fee, they'll remove the late payment fee. They'll give you extra time. They won't report it to the credit bureaus. And you do have, let's say your bill is due on the 15th.
Okay.
You have 30 days to pay that so that it does not report late to your credit bureau. So it does give you some grace. If you don't, you still get those late payment fees, but you do have 30 days before it actually reports to your credit bureau saying that you're actually late.
Now, do you have to ask the merchant or whatever, hey, look, can you not report, or is that something we should know by law?
Yes, by law, it's 30 days. So they can't say, if you pay on the 18th, they're good. If you pay on the 14th of the following month, you're still good. They cannot report it until 30 days late.
Have you ever seen a situation where companies were reporting it late, although the law was that they shouldn't be reporting it late because they still had that time frame?
Yes, definitely, especially during COVID.
Really?
Mortgages are being reported late, and even though they had that
during
that
COVID
law that you didn't have to pay car notes, you didn't have to pay certain car notes. They had it where they would put it to the end, and they were still reporting late. So you just send that dispute letter to them and say, hey, this is inaccurate. During this time, this law was in force, that I didn't have to pay my mortgage. So this is, and they'll delete it. They'll put it as one time. They'll fix it for you.
So how many people do you think are affected just on a daily basis by not knowing that law alone? Like
millions.
Because I'm like,
there's a lot of laws that you really can't. Certain laws, like especially with the HIPAA and the medical, you're not supposed to now report any medical bill over $500 to your credit report, or under $500 to your credit report. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lot of laws that came into place to help consumers. We just need to know the laws.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with the credit journey, now a lot of people talk about personal credit and business credit. Is it true that you have to have high personal credit in order to get good business credit?
Yes, it is. You just need to have decent personal credit to be able to get business credit. But there are a lot of ways, because once you build your business credit up to a point where they don't need to look at your personal, it doesn't matter. But when you're first starting, they may do like a peek, which is called a soft inquiry, where you don't get that hard inquiry hit so you see it, but they're able to actually just peek at your credit report or credit score to make sure that you can pay, if you're paying on time.
Right.
So I always suggest that while you're building your business credit, also, repair your personal credit.
Wow.
Because there are ways, once your business is, I have 2 vehicles in my business thing, Skyline Realty, but it took me some time to build credit, like maybe like 2 or 3 years. And that's like, adding up. I'm always online talking about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 accounts that you put in your business credit. So once you build those, you can go to these banks and to these credit cards and dealerships and not have to have a PG, which is a personal guarantee. So they won't check your personal credit. And that's how you leverage business credit. So you can if you have a $30,000 credit limit on your business credit card, you can run it up to $30,000, right?
Because they want you to use that business, right?
Exactly, but it won't show on your personal credit. So you still over here with a $700, but using all this money up on your business credit. So that's the best thing about business credit. As long as there's no PG and it's not reporting to your personal, you can run it up. You can run it up, run it up, run it up.
So wait,
But of course, pay it back. We got into the pandemic where we thought we could just get this
Run
business credit, exactly, and not pay it back. We can still gotta pay it back.
Wow. So I'm curious, does a business have to be making a buku money to get business credit? Or is that something that pretty much has to do with just how the business is structured and what the business net 30 accounts and things like that is going on?
So definitely based on your formation, how you structure like you said, and then building the tier 1, tier 2 net 30 accounts on your business side. But to get that large amount, if you're gonna, try to get 100, 200,000, you're talking good money, they're gonna check your personal credit.
Makes sense.
It may not report to your personal credit, but they just need to know who is running this business.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
They want to see your integrity. But you can also go and get, other types of, it's like merchant cash advance, other types of small business credit that they won't check your personal credit at all.
Really?
All they look for is your last 3 months of your business bank account statement.
Wow.
So they won't look at, they don't care about your personal credit. They just want to see your cash flow.
Oh.
And that's what I tell my clients. Open your business account. If you're a startup, just make sure you're depositing cash each month to your business account so they can see some cash flow.
Okay.
Or in your third month, or in your fourth month, you can go apply for some business credit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You writing this down, Nelly? So now briefly, you touched on the letters that different credit repair people send to these creditors. Now, can you touch on that? Because I was a victim of, somebody at one point that I didn't even know what kind of letters they were sending, and most people don't. We think it's the same thing, but can you tell us what's going on with these letters now?
So there's different letters for different reasons and different accounts. So you have like a collections letter, a charge-off letter, a repossession letter. If you want to remove inquiries, if you want to remove late payment. So, most people have these templates and they're passed on. Like I'm sure 10 out of 15 credit repair agents have the same templates, and that's when I was saying that I have templates, but I change them up every time.
Okay.
I personally go in and I type every single one of my clients' letters so that there's no similar letter to this.
So what you're sending out?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the credit bureaus are getting hit to everything, especially after the pandemic when everyone was doing credit repair. Everyone was disputing. We learning so much. We listen to podcasts. We getting this information. So we're disputing everything.
Yeah.
So
wow. So do you think that the pandemic caused an influx of people wanting to fix their credit, or do you think it's kind of always been there? It just kind of became more public.
No, I think it definitely that the pandemic definitely has made people aware of what they can do once their credit is fixed. You see people get these credit cards. You see these people saying $100,000 you can get loans with no docs.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of times I say these gurus they throw out the good part,
but they
don't tell you. Yeah, they don't tell you exactly what you need. You have to be in business. You have to do certain things. So it's like it's a lot behind those no doc loans. There's a lot behind different things that you're able to obtain with good credit. But definitely the pandemic has made people aware
that they can actually.
Yeah, and it's not hard that you can actually do it yourself. But like I tell people, it's time and knowing the laws.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's best to hire someone. Just like you may be able to do your taxes, but if you don't know the laws, you might mess up. You might miss a deduction. So it's just best to give that to somebody else that actually knows and have learned. And
you're paying for that knowledge.
Exactly.
Somebody being up to date on what's going on.
Exactly.
Now you talk about trade lines too. For those that don't really understand what trade lines are, can you give us kind of a brief definition of what trade lines are?
Sure. There are like primary trade lines and authorized users, which is secondary trade lines. But primary trade lines are basically your account. That's what they consider a trade line. So if you have an American Express card, if you have any type of credit card or on your credit report, that's considered a trade line.
Okay.
So authorized users is basically a secondary trade line when someone adds you to their credit card.
Okay.
So say your sister has a credit card that she's had for 15 years, never been late, perfect payment history, low balance, and she can add you to that credit card as an authorized user, and now that's on your credit report.
So it uses your credit profile at that point.
So you have that American Express $50,000 limit on your credit report.
So wait, if you got bad credit and somebody puts you as an authorized user, they don't look at you weird? Because they're gonna be like, how this person got this, but then they got
over the years it has been like, wait a minute. But it does boost your score. So depending on where you're going to get credit, some different lenders just look at your credit score.
Okay.
They're not looking at everything else. They just look at your credit score. So like if you want to get a car and you have you add these authorized user account to your, and you have a 700,
Mhm.
now you're getting a lower interest rate.
Right.
From before when you didn't have those authorized users and you had like a 600, 650, you're getting a 15%, 24% interest rate on your vehicle.
Wow.
But adding those authorized users
Mhm.
to that 720, you might get a 2, 5, 10, interest rates are high. But
Yeah.
right now, but you're going to get a lower interest rate with a higher credit score. But the thing is, like I said, people have became aware of what people are doing. So
Mhm.
like when you go purchase a home, the authorized users really are not good because one, they'll add in whatever monthly payment to your debt to income ratio.
Okay.
And they see that they might even ask you to remove it.
Mm.
So because they know that it's not yours. They know that there are ways and websites and people
To
that
make
put it
things-
on there. Yeah.
So how much, like, what's the price of a normal trade line? Like, does it depend on what kind of package you get,
Yeah.
or?
So if there are personal and business trade lines,
Okay.
the personal trade lines, they can run from like 300 to like 1,500
How
for
long
one.
do they stay on your?
Most likely 30 to 45 days.
Okay.
So when people do the authorized users, it's best to apply for whatever you're looking to apply for
Mhm.
quickly.
Okay.
So once you do the process, it takes about 3 weeks for it to be added to your credit report.
Mhm.
And then I always suggest if you're gonna now you have a 700, go get the car, go get apply for your
Yeah.
your rental home or something like that. So
Wow.
they don't stay on forever, unfortunately.
But it's like a quick boost.
Yeah, it's a quick boost, and sometimes they can stay on for a couple of months, but usually 30 to 45 days because these people are reusing and reusing and reusing. So say if I have this, American Express card for
Mhm.
20,000, I'm sourcing my information out to this broker,
Okay.
and this broker is sourcing out to everybody else.
Okay.
And Jack used it this month, Jill used it that month, Mary used it.
So people sell their
Yep.
credit.
And they're getting paid each time someone else uses it.
So are they penalized at all? Like if somebody has their trade line and they mess up on a payment, does it affect the person who holds the credit or no?
So no, that the person like Jack, Jill, Mary, they
Mhm.
never have a card. They can't touch it.
Okay.
They can't ever use it. They don't have access to it at all. They just have it on their
the
credit
benefits
report.
of the looks of it.
Yes, but not the
Okay.
actual card. They can't, if they wanted to call and be like, hey, I'm an authorized user, this is this, they could get
They
a card
could.
because their name is on there.
Right.
But
That ain't how it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. So I'm curious, what's the craziest credit situation that you had to fix thus far?
I don't know. 'Cause I'm not judgmental.
Okay, what's
but
been one of the most challenging ones?
I would say bankruptcy. Bankruptcy are
Okay.
definitely challenging because you have to go to the court. And but it's a good thing because courts don't have time to be sending letters.
Right.
And if they don't respond within a certain amount of time, it's time for it to be deleted because I don't have verification. You didn't provide me with proof. I want every single document. And when we ask for verification for a bankruptcy,
Mhm.
I mean it's packaged because you got
Right.
all
That
that
all
stuff
that stuff right
and they
there.
have to send it because I'm asking for it, and by law they have to verify that this information is correct. And if it's not, you have to delete it from our credit report. So those are the hard.
Now let me ask you a question. Now this may be a perspective thing, but who do you think struggles with credit worse, Black men or Black women? Based on your clientele.
Definitely Black women because a lot of Black
Really?
women don't use it at all.
Now that's interesting.
They don't use it like
Really?
They'll have like 1 or 2 accounts, if that. It might be like a collection from a utility bill 20 years ago.
We be having Victoria's Secret.
Yeah,
old Blockbuster
the moment
bills.
you can get a credit card, we're gonna get it and swipe it up.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Definitely
Wow.
Black women. Definitely.
Dang.
Black men unfortunately have child support in their credit report.
Ooh,
But
really?
yeah.
Now, how does it work? You can't get child support off a credit report.
If any information is incorrect, it has to be deleted by law. So if it says you owe child support 15,000, but you paid and you have proof that it's only 10 and they don't fix it, it has to be deleted.
Are you
It's incorrect. Yeah.
Have you ever had like baby mamas mad at you because you got that
No.
baby?
No, I don't want to get into none of that at all.
So with all this business credit, so when did you decide to step into Shop 11.9? I don't know if it's been around or you just rebirthed it, but obviously having good finances yields your ability to create more businesses. So when did you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and lean into my fashion side?
So that's what actually brought me to Atlanta. I had a clothing boutique, an online store.
Where are you from, Chrissy?
Baltimore.
That's right, B-More.
Yes, Baltimore.
Yeah. So you had a clothing store.
Yes, it was e-commerce online
Okay.
In 2013,
Mhm.
14 time, and it was called Love Paparazzi.
Okay.
And I was doing really well. I started doing this is when I was younger, Baltimore, didn't have a job. I was actually pregnant with my daughter, and they
Okay.
had put me on bed rest.
Okay.
So I had no way to make income, and I'm just online and I'm finding clothes. This is when AliExpress started. It was big,
Okay.
and I was taking pictures from AliExpress, putting on Instagram, and making my little $20, $30.
Really?
Yep, off of those. But of course, being it was new,
Yeah.
I didn't know that it took 3 weeks to get from AliExpress China to get over here. So
Okay.
it was a lot. It was a lot. But the first month I made $5. I'm moving. The first month I was like, I'm moving. So that's when I came to it.
So
I came
wait.
to Atlanta.
Do you teach people how to do the drop shipping
Yes.
too?
Yes.
And then like print by demand?
I don't know. Well, it's easy to do print by demand. You just have to have whatever. You find somebody on Fiverr and
Mhm.
have somebody do like a graphic for you, whatever, you get your graphics done. And you just, find a t-shirt supplier, put it on there. And a lot of times they don't have the t-shirts in hand in
Right.
inventory. It's just drop shipping. Once once somebody buys it, you go to the website and they'll send it out for you. That's the biggest thing with drop shipping. And that's what I did for 10 years. I literally
I
never
definitely want to get
ever
with you on that
touched.
because
Yeah.
I ain't to put you up, but like we're in an era where merchandise is everything for everybody in their businesses. How did you like just move around in the drop? Like, can you explain how that works? Because some people we hear it, but we don't really understand what drop shipping is.
Okay, so sure, drop shipping is basically, I say you're like the middleman. You
Okay.
never ever touch the product. So it's big in the hair industry, it's big in the clothing industry. So basically, I have a website where someone orders this,
Mm-hmm.
and now Shopify and other websites have it where it goes. I don't have to do any work.
Mm-hmm.
You order this from my website, it goes to the drop shipper, and it sends it out. When I was doing it, I would have to get the order and then order it from my supplier
Right.
in China, and they would send it. But you never ever touch the product. You just say, hey, I have a customer, they want to order, this dress, here's the address. And they do all the work for you.
Really?
You're just getting the money, you're getting the money from, say the dress was $5 and I charged $90 for it. Now I got $85. I did nothing but contact the supplier. I'm at home and did nothing for $85.
So with drop shipping, can you design your clothes and then put them on your site, or how does
You
that?
can, yes.
Really?
There's a lot of different suppliers in China. That's why my Eternal Clock, I believe is what it's called, is off because they're 12 hours ahead of us.
Right.
So I'm up on WhatsApp.
At like 2 in the morning because that's there.
Yeah, so I'm
Wow.
it's just like,
Can
yeah.
you see my drop ship, Chris?
Of course.
Please,
I
because
got
I've
you.
been trying to get women to go.
It is a really good business. Dropshipping is a really good business, and it's now it's big with like knowing how to do ads and just marketing it. But if you have your own market, which you do, because you have your own platform, it's something that you want to sell. You can get customers like that.
Oh my God. Listen, if y'all not on these phone lines, if y'all not tapped in and getting these gems, she is spitting straight fire, man. We're going to take a quick music break. I'm sitting here with Chrissy Lee, Casey Tax Solutions, Shop 11-9, Bomb Woman, Women Are Dope, and Then Some. We'll be right back on 101 TKO Radio. And don't forget, you can call in now because October 1st, them prices is going up. All right? Stay locked in, y'all. on TK already. We are back in the spot. That was SZA. If I choose. That's the church. That's the Donny Hathaway version. Something I want to touch on real quick before we get back to the business conversation. You've been on your spiritual journey real heavy.
Yes, it's hard.
We got to talk about that real quick because
hard.
I myself have been on mine as well.
Yeah.
And so it is amazing to watch other women walking into what God and who God has called them to be.
Yeah.
So can you kind of just share like where that catalyst came in? You were like, you know what? I need to lean back in towards the purpose for my life.
Definitely when I started, making good money, getting everything I wanted materialistically, but I still wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what's going on? Like, I couldn't figure it out.
Mhm.
I felt like I wanted to get on this journey years and years ago, but I was just scared because I knew I would lose friends, I would lose associates, I would lose this. I couldn't go out and hang out like I used to and do that crazy stuff like I used to do.
Yeah.
And I was scared to be the person that I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's still like it's like spiritual warfare because it's like I'm getting
That's
pulled
real.
this way,
Yeah.
but I'm
I'm
trying
trying
to pull back this way,
Mhm.
and it's really really hard. But being a Christian isn't easy. Being in the journey,
Yeah.
and I posted this the other day. I try to post my journey so people can feel like I can do it too.
Yeah.
Inspire, motivate. I might not have 1 million followers, but I know it's going to
It's
touch
real
someone.
though. Yeah.
Right, and it's always someone's opinion in my inbox, and I'm just like, my journey is my journey.
Yeah.
I might have a hiccup. I'm not perfect.
Listen, that's what grace is for.
Exactly.
Because most people don't understand the whole Christian faith and they expect to be perfect. And it's like God didn't ask you to be perfect. He asked you just to continue working on being a process.
Exactly.
So how has becoming a Christian or stepping more into your Christian light kind of helped you move through your business now?
It gives me more like, definitely my faith is stronger.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I would worry and worry and worry, and now it's like everything is in God's hands. Like, I'm just like, you know
it's
what?
a different sitting
Yeah,
space.
yeah. It's like I used to stress out. I used to, I still have my moments when I'm upset and I'm crying. But I just know that it's in God's hands, and I'm just happy in advance because I know He's going to work it out.
Exactly.
It may not be what I wanted,
but it's on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I just, just like with my black car when they stole it, bust the windows, all types of stuff. I just was like, why? Like, what are you telling me? But I was just like, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
I might come back bigger and stronger. I might come back with 2,
Right.
brand new trucks. But it wasn't, nothing that I built during that time was kind of like with God. I built it with myself and money. So now in my business, I want God to be in my business. I want Him to be in every step that I take, with all my journeys.
Wow. So overall, how would you say the Chrissy at the beginning of this year compared to now, what changes have you seen from yourself most just being a truly dope woman?
Definitely, it's hard. It really is hard. But it's starting, and you have to like cut certain things out, and that includes people, whether it's friends, family, relationships. You just got to start cutting certain people out because they may not be there to go on a journey with you. Yeah, and that's where it hurts because you might be sleeping with this man, but he's just not the person that's going to, and he might be blocking your blessing. They say you're sleeping with your demon, So I just just happen to have great discernment and know when it's time to let people go.
Yeah. I've dealt with that too. Just in my own journey, family is the last people to support you. So some family members I had to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna have you sit over there just because I knew where I was going on a higher purpose. Yeah. So with that being said, you being a dope Christian woman, let's talk about Shop 11 now. Yeah. Because I feel like I be wanting all the clothes because I meant to tell you to bring me some pieces.
No, I should. I'm sorry.
But I love Shop 11 now, but I'm curious, why 11-9 the name?
My birthday.
Okay.
11-9.
I thought it was some mom. She could hit me with some theology.
Right, yeah, 444.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my birthday.
Okay.
Because my old name was Love Paparazzi. It really did well. I was, I did like clothing and wardrobe for like small reality shows when I first got here.
Okay.
I did a lot of pop-up shops. It did really, really well. I had a suite open up downtown across the street from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Wow. How was that location for you?
It was horrible.
I was going to ask about that.
Well, because I was new to the city, and I was like, I'm right across the street from the Mercedes-Benz thing. Was it called Mercedes-Benz back then?
I don't think it was. I think it was something different. So what was
the parking is $20. Why would I spend $20 to park and go shop?
Yeah.
So it was just like
When did you move the store from there?
That was 2017.
Okay.
I think it was 2017 that I had it. It was horrible. And then I was making more money online than I did even with the foot traffic because people didn't know I was there. I was in the building, so you had to know me or know the store to even want to come inside.
Yeah.
So it was, you know,
It was a whole
sometimes I
experience.
definitely say to just keep a lot of business e-commerce.
Okay.
Because that overhead of actually having a storefront,
Mm-hmm.
you know, having to hire employees, now worrying about
You
people
get rid of all-
robbing you and it's
yeah.
all types of
That
crazy
is
stuff.
true because I didn't even think about that. Somebody robbing your store and things like
Yeah,
that.
it's a lot.
Wow.
I definitely, I rather go e-commerce, but you know, sometimes I do want to have that storefront just to like,
Yeah.
get up every day and go somewhere and meet my
something cool.
customers.
Yeah. Do you think that you will ever get another storefront if it's God's will?
Yeah. I don't think, you know, I'm just like,
Do you even want that at this? Do you want a
I don't,
storefront?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. You know, it's like, I kind of just went back into the clothing space to kind of learn, so I can kind of teach people.
Okay.
Because I've seen that it was big. I've seen on the drop shipping, the clothing, and just trying to learn a new marketing and how it is. Like I said, Shopify has all these different things you can add into your store to kind of, you know, text messaging, the email marketing,
Yeah.
all these different things. I just wanted to learn it. And of course, fashion. I love fashion. So it's just like,
Chrissy be killing them looks, boy.
thank you.
Listen, all the time. I be like, if I was that height, like, let me ask you a question. Are the clothes fit for short people? Because I struggle.
And I think, you know what, and that's my problem because I think I buy clothes that would fit me, and I'm like,
I wish if I had more legs, I'd be able to wear them.
yeah, I think I need to kind of.
Please
like,
remember us over
yeah.
here because nobody remembers the short girls and we love to shop.
And that's one thing I always used to buy something outwear, and I have to think about other people because I'm not my customer.
Yeah.
You know?
But then sometimes I feel like you are your customer because the people who you know who like what you like, you are. So it's a middle ground.
Yeah.
Now, time out. I did not know you were a licensed realtor too.
Yeah.
When and where? Oh,
when I was
Chrissy.
trying to get out the clothing space, 2019, I was like, I need something. Like I said, I didn't. This is when Instagram was like freeze or you couldn't post for certain
Lord, you
amount of
remember that?
time.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I can't let these people dictate my money. You know what I mean? And then I was having a problem with payment processors. That's one of the biggest things I don't like about e-commerce. When they know that you are, you know, of a certain ethnic background, because they know.
Really?
They know. And then when you start making a certain amount of money or the type of business you have, it's called risk. And they call it high risk business. And so they'll, in the middle of like, they'll just cut, like say, okay, we got your money on hold. Then it's like, you know, to make a certain amount of money, it's like, wait a minute, we need to review your account. We're going to put your account on hold for 6 months.
Oh!
Yes. All this money that you've made, we're going to hold it and we're going to review your account and then let you know we can start processing again. And that happened to me so many times.
In that situation?
You know, it was crazy. I had to just go back and get new processes. But it was like these people, I could be doing everything right, not having, you know, complaints and things like that. But it's because, you know, a lot of e-commerce is considered high risk.
Yeah.
Because you don't have an actual storefront. They can do that. They can do reserves, whereas though you open up your merchant processor account and they have a $10,000 reserve. So all your sales that you make, until you make $10,000, you don't get any of that money. So it's just like you just have to be careful. And I'm just like, it was a lot. It was
my
lot.
heart would be in my
I'm
chest.
telling you, and they were trying to raise kids, and I'm like, are you serious?
And you sitting there looking at your money, and
Yes,
they're telling
I can't.
you,
Woo.
and it's nothing you can.
Nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. I didn't have some words with some people. I didn't have some.
Chrissy.
That's what made me get out of it. So I was like, let me find something else.
Do you think that it may be better now, or is it just always going to be the nature of the beast?
I think it's going to just be the nature of it. You just have to have more than one way to process. When you first start your account, your business, you definitely have to have more than one payment process and more than one way to make money, more than one, you know, like you have Square.
Right.
You know, people say don't use Cash App, but that's a norm now.
Yeah.
Cash App, Apple Pay, it's click that. So that's the norm. But definitely have more than one payment processor when you first start up. Because definitely since the pandemic, you got all these businesses that play with people, didn't, you know, and they are kind of right because there are a lot of fraudulent, you know, businesses.
Very true.
But if I don't have any chargebacks, I don't have anybody complaining, why are you holding my money? So
I know you had some choice words.
I'm telling you, it's not their fault, but it's just like, wow.
Oh my God.
It was depressing. So that's
it's interesting because I've never heard it before. Like we hear people talk about e-commerce all the time, but I have never heard anyone mention that aspect of the business to where that can actually happen. Like, so y'all see she dropping gems because all we know is set up and shop. And then we get hit with that and we don't even know what happened, but that happened.
Yeah, but that's what I always tell people to get coaches. You know, people say I can just Google this stuff online and look at YouTube, but nobody's going to give you like the in-depth like experience.
Right.
And that's why I have so many businesses. So I can be like, somebody comes to me and say, hey, you know, I'll do that taxes. I kind of want to start, you know, a clothing store. You know, I have a knowledge of this maybe I'm not a millionaire in this
But
business,
you-
but I
you
know
been-
something that
yeah.
kind of shoot you in the right direction.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's how I got into real estate. 'Cause
Oh.
I was tired of holding my money.
So how did you like being in the real estate? How do you like it?
I'm not a people person. So
Really, Chrissy?
I'm an introvert, so I can't imagine myself
Like, how was
walking
it for
with
you?
8 houses and like I'm like, man,
How was
you
it
don't
for
pick
you?
this house.
Chrissy!
Yeah, no, that wasn't me. But that's how I felt. Like I'm not
Yeah.
a people person.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go to this house and this house and this. I'm
It's
like,
the bathroom.
yeah, like let's go. So I turned it into using it more so for like, if investments. I want to flip,
Okay.
fix and flip. So,
Okay.
a lot of investors need a real estate agent to help them look for properties,
Mhm.
on MLS and different, systems
Right.
that the real estate agents had. So I was like, okay, I'll keep my license for that. But I just didn't,
Okay.
I want to go back into it, but it's just,
But I commend you for that because all these careers, sometimes you gotta be like, look, this isn't for me.
right. And
You
it's
know,
okay.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, if they'll look and keep doing this, it's fine.
Sometimes it don't be for
It's
you.
fine.
Yeah. Because I would love to do realty, but I feel like I'll probably like, yeah. I probably like, if you don't buy this house, buy me.
Right. And they'll take you through some hoops, but it's good money.
Okay.
It's really good money. And especially when Atlanta has homes,
For days.
yes. And
Yeah.
then, the starting price is $500,000. So your commission check,
It's pretty nice.
yeah.
But then I'm just curious, does it take a long time to sell a house? Like, what is the process? Like, how long in the process? When do you see the money? I
And
just wondered that.
that's another thing. With me doing the clothing and I'm getting a deposit every single day, I'm getting people sending me money.
You see,
It was a difference from going into real estate and you gotta wait 30, 45 days for a check. And then sometimes the property you don't get a closing,
Mhm.
finances messed up, the underwriter didn't see this and
so
see
many
that.
different things
So
kind of come in.
It's like you gotta hope and pray that
My nerves be toe up.
yeah. Especially when you got bills every day.
Oh my
But
god.
if you know how to, that's a lot of people start real estate part time.
Okay.
A lot of agents are part time agents, and that's what I would consider myself anyway. I
Okay.
never went into it full time.
Mhm.
But a lot of people, have one job, and then, like you know a lot of people,
Yeah.
and you can, if you already have a platform, it's like, this weekend I'll show an open, open house or something like that. So
Whatever works in my schedule.
just having a platform and having like, what's it called, a black book, just
Okay.
having people that you just send this out and like somebody will budge and say, hey, I need to sell my house, or hey, I want to buy a house.
True.
So
So it's the numbers and just getting the information out there.
yeah, just it's just someone trusting you.
Wow.
And once you get that first one, it's just like
It's gonna go from there. So out of all your streams of income, which two do you enjoy doing the most?
I would say definitely taxes.
Oh,
I enjoy
really?
taxes. Yeah, I love numbers. Like I love numbers. And I
Dang.
love people getting their money back and being
Yeah.
able to do stuff. I like helping people.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna say my e-commerce, my clothing store, that for almost 10 years, that provided me the money to take care of my children. We were
Really?
traveling. I mean, we were traveling in the middle of the week. I could pick up and go, and I'm just on my phone. I work from my phone, posting pictures of clothes all day. And I'm in Disney World. I'm in Disneyland, but I'm still making money. And it's just like it gave me the freedom. People People
Wow.
would say when I first moved to Atlanta, so what else do you do? I'm like, I sell clothes. What else? I
I
sell
still
clothes.
close. Like
I
it's
sell
been
clothes. Like,
sufficient for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money in e-commerce because that's what we do. We shop online.
Wow. I was recently at a Shopify conference and we were talking about the big boom with e-commerce and World and Vision. I met several other people that did it.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm like, my mind started turning, and so I'm like, how do I get into it? But it's like, it's easier, but then you also have to know those backdoor tactics on how to do it.
Yeah.
So what are some tips that you would give upcoming dope women who may want to just expand their different streams of income? Like, how do you decide which stream is going to actually be cohesive with another? You just take a chance, or?
It's a lot. I would say taking chances, but definitely to me, I always say just find a problem
Mhm.
and see how you can solve it,
Okay.
and you can make money off of it.
Okay.
My makeup artist was just saying how I had this lady come to my house and wrap my gift,
Mhm.
wrap my presents. I don't know how to wrap gifts.
That's
felt
real.
That was a problem for me because I wanted something cute for my kids that was
Mhm.
at Christmas. She knew, she found a way to solve that problem by coming to people's houses, wrapping gifts, and making income. Things that people don't want to do,
Right.
cleaning their homes, just finding a solution to someone's problem.
Yeah.
Just like credit repair, people know that it's a problem,
Mhm.
but they don't have the time, they don't have the knowledge. But I found a solution so that I can help them.
Wow. So where do you see yourself and all your business within, let's say, the next 2 years? What were your goals?
Definitely, I'm going to, build this Casey Tax Solution brand.
Mhm.
I had my first billboard last season, and I was excited.
Round of
My
applause.
kids,
Yes.
drive by and they see mommy up
Mommy,
there.
okay. Was she like this?
I was.
You did
So
the
that-
arm pose, the power pose.
Yeah, they was like, how they say, don't get your taxes done by anyone like this. But that was my pose. That's the signature pose.
It is.
But yeah, I just really want to build that business because I want to help people,
Mhm.
not only in taxes, but personal credit, business credit.
Mhm.
Just now with the grants, because a lot of people aren't making money to be able to get loans,
Mhm.
so that pushes me into the grant space. And there's a lot of money out there.
Now let's talk about that real quick. Now I've heard for Black female entrepreneurs, right now is the best time to get in those grants. Talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of grants, especially for women, and especially for Black women.
Mhm.
There's a certain percentage. I don't have the exact statistics,
Mhm.
but women don't get approved as much as men for loans.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do get approved, women have a higher
A high
interest rate.
interest rate. Okay.
So that's why there's so many. I have some male clients that have grants, and they're like, "You always posting women grants." I'm like, "Look, that's what's out there."
Yeah.
And I had to tell him the reason why there are so many, women in this, there's single mom grants.
Mhm. Now let me ask you this. So I'm somebody that is new to the grant process.
Mhm.
So I always wonder when somebody says, "Okay, I'm gonna write this grant for you," what exactly is happening? Like
Basically, just being able to, and most of my clients, I go on their page or I have a conversation with them,
Mhm.
and to be able to kind of know why did you start your business,
Mhm.
what you want to do, what your vision is, like what would you do with the money,
Mhm.
and then we take that and elaborate.
Okay.
It's just like someone writing a resume or someone
Okay. So
writing
you
an essay
articulate
paper.
that. Okay.
Yes, because it takes a long time to complete it.
Really?
It does. But once you have like
The kind of-
those questions answered,
Mhm.
I tell people just copy and paste them, put it on your notepad, because most of every grant is going to test the same exact question. So you just copy and paste it into that grant question and the application.
And so now I know currently until October, you're doing a current special for it, and tell our listeners how much you're charging to do for the grant writing process.
So the grant writing process is $125.
Yeah, they have
It's a great fee. And what I do is I'll apply
Chrissy,
for
can you
some
tell
grants.
Nelly I need $125?
125. And yes, I just basically I apply for grants for you, and I'll also give you those answers.
Wow.
So you can go do it on your own if you have a grant or if you see something. Some grants are like a $20 fee, $10
Mhm.
fee. So you can just take those answers to those questions and put it into your own
Yeah,
your applications and stuff. And definitely when you're applying for grants, make sure that you're active on social media.
Mhm.
Mostly all of the grant applications, they ask for your Facebook handle. your
Really?
Instagram handle.
So they checking to see
They
if
want to
you're
make
really
sure
doing it.
Yes, yep. And they want to. A lot of them, when the winners, they're in the community. They have a story behind why they open, and so how you do a lot of community events.
I could probably have Nelly.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a really good. With the business and stuff.
Wow.
They want to see. A lot of the questions is how do you help your community? How will your business help the community grow? And what are you volunteering? Are you doing certain things for the community? It's a really big.
So with all the stuff we doing with the school for free,
We talked about it.
I'm having a little 60 pounds. So we can get. So I guess it's interesting when you say grants because I think from someone that's never received a grant, it always seems intimidating because you're like, I could never be picked. But like, how do they choose? And are there multiple recipients of these grants?
Yeah, so some of them they do have multiple recipients each month, and then there's one. There's some that has the same criteria every single month. So once you apply for January, you'll be open to all year. They'll look. You'll have a chance to win each month. So
Wow.
the different ones, and
and this money you do not have to pay back.
you do not have to pay back. There's no credit check. It brings presence to your business. Once you get one grant, then you open up this door for everyone else to look at. People want to help. People get
I
write-offs
keep
by helping.
hearing that.
Yeah.
I have been hearing that for the last couple of weeks. That, Lord, okay, I need you, Lord.
Right.
I've been hearing that a
They
lot.
want-
Wow.
yeah.
And this last quarter too, so a lot of companies are trying to get
Yeah.
rid of their money,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for our listeners out there, what is the best way to kind of set up their business in a position where they can even start entertaining business credit? Like what things do you need to make sure you have when you first open a business to make sure that you're set up for success?
Definitely, start by going to irs.gov, get your EIN.
Mhm.
Make sure you register with the Secretary of State because you want to have at least an LLC. You don't want to have a sole proprietorship because once you become your business is an LLC, it separates any liability from your personal. So if someone sues your business,
They gonna sue
you won't be liable
Okay.
if you have an LLC.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Mhm.
One Secretary of State.
Mhm.
Make sure you're not using your personal address when you open up your business or you
Okay.
have that information, because one Secretary of State is public information.
So
So
I guess
if someone looking for you or something like that, they could go right on there and find your address. You know what I mean? I have to say wow, but I didn't been a detective before. It's not an address. But yeah, and then when you go for business credit, even though working from home is a norm now because of the pandemic, but lenders don't want to see a house pull up when they Google your address for your business. They want to see, they have virtual addresses where they have a building like this, and you just get, you just buy a space for like $50, $90 a month, and you have that actual virtual address. No PO box. Don't use a PO box.
Okay.
But they actually want to see that structure.
Okay.
What else? Like
Duns and
EIN. Yeah. So EIN. The IRS. Yeah. Duns and Bradstreet. That is how you start building business.
Now let me ask you about that. How do you check your Dun and Bradstreet number? Because like I be seeing on Facebook, you have to go to the website to check your score there? Is there what score system are they on?
So to get your number, you go to dmv.com.
Okay.
Got that. You'll be able to get your actual number. They'll email it to you. They won't show it right there on the screen, but they'll email it to you. And then to check your actual business credit, you go to nav.com.
Okay.
So nav.com is that's where they have all three credit bureaus. It's DMV, Duns and Bradstreet, it's Equifax and Experian. They're the three business credit bureaus.
Okay.
There's some more like Credit Safe that's come later, but those are the three main bureaus for credit. You go to nav.com and you're able to check all three of your business credit reports and see where you are.
Wow. So what tips would you give, I guess, people that are trying to get their credit together for their business? What steps should they take outside of booking with Casey Tax Solutions?
Yes. After you book with me and I get your personal credit right. But no, definitely, number one is to find the problem. So get your credit report. We don't know until you actually see. So get your credit report, get your business credit report, pull them, and then either look for the mistakes and you can dispute them, or of course hire someone like myself to dispute that information and just start building. Just start adding new trade lines to your account. Don't try to get 1,000 credit cards at once. You know what I mean? Just once you get to a point where you can apply. Maybe they say 1 or 2 a year, but we have ways to go around that. But 1 or 2 a year with the business credit. Like I said, there's 3 tiers. Start with Net 30.
Okay.
There's like Quill. There's Uline.
Ranger.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And the people, I show it all the time on my Instagram. Like I have boxes and boxes of plates and cups that my kids use for, and I buy it every month from Uline. So I can keep that account current. Keep that account current, and it really has helped me build my business credit. Some people try to skip that, and I have actually a post today about skipping. But you shouldn't skip. You start with the Net 30, then you go to your tier 2, which is your business credit card, and then tier 3 is like the bank products, and you're getting loans and stuff like that. But start from that tier 1 and build the correct way, because it really does help. And like I said, I had 2 vehicles in my business name, and they're not on my personal credit. I didn't have to have a credit check. All they asked me for, honestly, was just one of them asked me for my tax return, but he just did that just to ask for it. Okay. The other one, they didn't ask for anything. They ran my EIN and was like, here.
Okay. Well, I know what I need to do with my life. Clearly. So where can people book with you, Chrissy? Where can they find more information? And where can they just, get connected with you, whether it's through fashion, getting your credit, your finance together? How do they find places?
Listen. It's good though. My Instagram is Casey Tax Solutions. My website is caseytaxpro.com. And then also follow me, CEO Paparazzi.
And like I said before, y'all, she's fixing my credit, so I will be coming back periodically, let y'all know what Chrissy is doing, so you can know in real time. I already feel like she's moving. I got the new credit walk already, and I'm still at 5'10". But it's not. Anyway, listen. So my last question: when all the credit, the finance, the fashion is all going away, what is Chrissy like in her quiet time?
Whoo! I'm praying now.
I feel you.
I'm praying now. And I'm taking care of these kids.
Yeah.
I'm definitely. I got one almost out the door, so it's a relief.
Okay.
He ain't gonna be too far, but. I'm definitely praying. I am in my prayer space for real, because I just know that everything I'm going through now, just keeping God first. Everything will be here.
I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Women
are dope.
Women are dope, okay? And I'm excited because these women need to hear about finances. I always say I can't preach about being a dope woman if my finances and my credit aren't in line. So I appreciate women like you that are standing in the gap and being true and the purpose that God has called you to be. so that you can help women like us continue to help other women. So, and y'all never know, I might have Chrissy on a panel for Women Are Dope 2024 because I feel like Chrissy would be super dope on a panel because she's gonna help y'all get your finances right, because spiritually, you know, getting your finances is also part of, you know, being spiritually sound as well. A lot of people don't realize that that God in control has to be in finances as well. So thank you, Chrissy, for coming in.
I had a nice time.
It is a pleasure as always. Y'all be sure to go and check Chrissy Lee out on all social media platforms. Lock and load her price. What's the price going to be for October? Tell them, Chrissy.
Oh, it's up there.
It's up there.
5 and up. 500 and up.
Period. I pay money. But listen, y'all, thank you guys for tuning in. It's Female Fridays. Flavor with Skittles is up next. Big shout out to my girl, Honey Bands, on the way. Y'all know what time it is. 101 TKO Radio. As always, knocking out the box. Y'all be safe. Stay blessed. All right.